My name is Juha Saarinen. I'm working as a math teacher or lecturer at TUAS. And in this project, I'm doing the development of the editor with Sakari. So let's get to my PDF slide. So this is going to be the slide that I'm going to show you. The main purpose here is to kind of give you an idea what we are doing here and what is the purpose of the editor and how the video or the thing that is called simulation video in our system, how it will be different maybe from other editors and what's the purpose of to make our own one. But first things first, of course, like the project name suggests, it's 360 ViSi. So the main part of everything is this video node. And our simulation structure will be basically like blocks of these video nodes and connections between those. And every video node will have one 360 video in it, and then there are few ways to arrange the video inside it. And now I will share you a video from the editor, and hopefully I get it going. So let's get there. And this video is trying to present you how, by the way, this is exactly the way the editor is currently looking and how it will work. Please, Sakari, if you have something to speak on top of this video, free, I will start it now.
Yeah, so in this video you can see how the basic building blocks, the video nodes themselves are created, and then you can pick a file from your hard drive to be represented in that video. And there is some minor adjustments you can do to the video in this editor as well, like clipping the starting and ending points of the video and setting the videos to loop or not. And of course you can pick the starting rotation of the user when that specific video is triggered.
Yeah. All right, so that is the basic block that are used to create this simulation structure. And now is the main point here is to start to produce your simulation, not as a one linear video that goes from one point to another, maybe from different rooms or something like that. Maybe you all have seen those guided tours with 360 videos or 360 images, and then you kind of can get to another point in place. But now you have ability to go also to other spot in time, or in our case also in other like change the patient's conditions, so get other status or state of the situation through these 360 videos. So they are now starting to make this kind of a grid or a web of different states, and based on the user actions, the story will go inside this net of different states. And that's the kind of the idea here, to give you an ability to convert that real simulation environment to this kind of a video structure, that the nurse's action will change the outcome that you get next, not only the place in the scene or something like that. And then there is a short video how to like construct this web in our editor. So again, let's get to the player here and start the next video.
Yeah, so in this video you can see in the start that I'm connecting the start node to the actual video, which represents that that video will be the first one that is played. Then I start adding a second video, and to link these, I'm using what we call actions. Later on, we'll discuss a bit more about them. And as the same way as I linked the start, I'm linking that action to the end, meaning that the simulation will end when that action is triggered. And then there is some bit sped up footage of me creating a bit more complex branching structure, so you can maybe get an idea of what it will look like a bit later on when there are multiple videos used in the simulation.
Yeah. So this way you can really make whatever kind of a structure that you need in your simulation to be. And these actions are basically just like buttons in the scene. So one action can have only one output, but every video can have multiple. Well, they all have one port, but you can have multiple multiple nodes or paths to one video. But every action will have only one output. And that's the way the structures go. So these actions are basically buttons. There are a few different kind of buttons that you will see those in sec on that video. And that's the way to control which part of the 360 view will be clickable and where to get when you click on that. So let's get the next video on.
Yeah, so in this video I'll go through on setting up few different actions. The first action is what we call the world button. Yep, which means it's just an icon in the world that can represent certain action. In this case, it represents speaking to the surgeon. And then another action, what we call area button, that's better utilized in like marking an area that already exists in the video, like a table, a door, or something like that. And these are also linked to there, like what we want to play when that area or icon is clicked in the video simulation.
Yeah, and there will be also, if you don't have any name, but the action for example, if you have like when the video is getting at the end, you can have this automated action. So the player or the nurse don't need to push anything, but the state will change when the video get to an end. And was there any other, Sakari, that I forget?
Not at this point, but since we are doing this ourselves, anything that we kind of want to use in the actual simulation, we can obviously like do some actions for those interactions.
Yeah, and that's, by the way, something that we are eager to hear from you. If you have a vision that you need some feature maybe in our editor or in this video player, so please give us that information. It's nice to have feedback from others, what could be interesting. Of course, we are trying to achieve the same simulation that is done on simulation rooms, in real life simulation rooms, but on top of that, there might be some interesting things that you others want to see here. Okay, and then we have this extra note there. Those video notes are basically the structure, the backbone of the simulation. Then we have actions to get from one video note to another. And then we created these extra, we call those tool nodes that are, you can add these between your videos. So there could be questions, and if you link those questions, you get questionnaires. You could have random router, so it kind of randomize your path, the next state. and of course different kind of selections like what do you want to do next type of things, and of course this extra information but part is also tool notes, so give something extra information, images or text when you need help or need to know more, for example some tool there. But let's see how those looks in our editors. So here's our player and here's our tool notes.
So yeah, the first tool I'm showing is the info that can be used to just give a pop-up inside the video simulation of some text or an image, kind of like a like the magnifier class or something like that. Then there is the randomizer, which can be used to split the simulation in randomly, like selected. As you can see, I'm adding 3 nodes or 3 ports, and that the simulation then every time it's played randomizes one of those results. So we can create some randomized events. And then the next one is the question. I'm gonna show how like these tool nodes can be used to create kind of chains of nodes that are not videos, but in the end they will become, or they will lead up to a video at some point. So we can use like multiple questions even to chain to decide what would be the next video that the user should see. So you can see that not everything needs to be represented as a video. This can be used kind of a shortcut or an addition to create the simulation.
Yes, and of course those questions and questionnaires are also tools for teachers to test the learning of the students and so on. So they don't need to only be as a part of the simulation itself. They can be also like extra features, if you will, on your system. Okay, and the last part is briefly to talk about these save, load, export, import kind of things, because all that you see here in the editor, it's happening inside the editor. The only like external things are those video files, and the structure of the editor, all those nodes and the lines between the nodes are saved on pretty simple JSON file structure. It's just a text file basically, and because of this simple structure, it's pretty easy to save your state in the editor if you want to continue your process, and of course load your save, but also export your ready-made simulation and import some ready-made simulation and maybe change something and do another export from that. And the idea behind this is to make it as easy as possible to teacher to share the content and the ideas, and maybe we could have someday some kind of a way to even make a kind of higher level editor, so you could make these simulators like these simulations as a one node in our editor. So you could get into one already made simulation, run that through, and after that simulation you can maybe get to another simulation. So you can maybe make nested simulations in this way. And this is something that we are trying to do. And now I stop sharing my screen and let Sakari to take control and show one specific example of this editor, and then it will go smoothly to others' hands through that example. So I will stop sharing. First I show my nice head there and find stop share button there. So thank you, and Sakari, please.
Yep. So I hope you can see my screen now. This is the actual simulation structure we built for to share with Ade, and they will talk about more on what they did with this actually. But as you can see, it's quite simple one. It's just a demonstration. But here you can see like again the node structure, and there is the ability to save as and open these projects up, and they will then end up in these sort of files that are very human readable if you are accustomed with these kind of files, but no one actually needs to read, because that's what we don't want the users to have to do, because we just save this file or press the export button and then share that file, and then we can open multiple of these later on, and these are the like shareable part. But I will let Ade talk a bit more about the like how they are using these files.
One comment, by the way, if I may, those videos that you see, they are all the same file. So there is only one cost, the 360 MP3 file, but inside those video notes, there are those starting and ending.
Yeah, I can actually show you. Like for the first video, we're using this like a shopping center part of the video. Here there is a different part of the video that represents like a playground, but we're cutting kind of this part of the video, and then the actions that are set in this video node here are only visible during this part, because this is the only part that's shown during this node. Yeah. I think that's all from me.
So yeah, I'm Tuomas Rantasalo. I'm the project manager for this project at Ade. And what we've seen today and discussed were first concerning the creation and of the simulations is first coming up with the manuscript, and it's not as straightforward as one might think. But if you have been able to come up with the manuscript, get the director for the video, shot the video, edited it, the 360 video, and then you have now, following today's lessons, you have now imported those files into the new tool that Juha and Sakari have created, and then you have created a simulation. And so what you have on your hand now there is like this groundbreaking new simulation, and you're ready to use it to revolutionize the learning experience of your chosen field, I'm sure. And but the thing is that now with that tool, the files and the simulation itself, it resides on your computer, on your local machine, and that's something that where we come in now. So taking those files from that editor, we were tasked with creating a player kind of as universal as it could be created. To share that, because if you have created this amazing simulation, you will want to be sharing it. We all crave that peer recognition, don't we? So you want to get that out to the world, and we can help you there with our tool. So what we have created here is a it's a tool. Yeah, that I think that is the word for it. And what it does is take in those files that come out of the editor and they publish it to the interwebs. I could show you a small video here. To show what I'm talking about. And there we go. Yeah, this is actually the exact same, based on those same files that Sakari was showing in the, at the very ending. But this recording is taking now of a browser. So what we are using here is a browser that has, through our tool, the files from the editor have been imported. And the functionality here is quite simple. Still with, and those tools there, create hotspots, create name labels. They are not going to be present in the like finished product. They're just for the development. But it works now. This is like, and you can later test it for yourself for this exact example. I think Yassi will be sending out the link to everyone. But the limitations in the demo here is just we only have those when Juha was talking about those actions and tools. We have only implemented the actions for now, meaning that in this player one can only jump from one video to another, or one kind of clip might be within the same video. But anyway, and there's the structure, the web of paths through the video is there. But what's still missing is those extra tools like the questions and quiz tools and extra info and randomizer and what have you. But adding those is going to be a relatively small step compared to what we've done like here, because they are, and we will be able to support everything that comes out of the editor, and I think then other things as well later on. But so yeah, as I told you, this is now the player that is working online. So it's a recording of a browser, and so that means the first idea of sharing those simulations that you've created is this approach of putting them on a website, or actually kind of creating an interface for everyone themselves to upload them, and then the tool does its magic. You get a link, you share the link, and anyone with the link can then access the simulation and use it, hopefully also using whatever kind of device they might have, including mobile devices and virtual reality, like proper headsets but we're starting with just like desktop-based simulation. But the mobile device and the virtual reality headset, there should be no problem getting them to work too. We have done it with these tools previously as well. But then now thinking of sharing the simulations using like this website, it's kind of an obvious idea, and but it does have some issues, I think, that we need to think about. Maybe not so much technical issues, but kind of administrative. For example, when there's a website like web service, this service that one uses to share your simulations, of course, someone needs to maintain the website and stuff like that, and pay for it continuing existence. But also we would need to talk about like what kind of sharing we want to be doing. Do we want to have the simulations available to anyone who gets the link, or do we want to manage the access somehow? For example, only share it with specific people. They need to log in before they can use, or do we maybe want to like have some kind of logs of who's been using it for how long, maybe even some like get the results of the questions that are answered in the simulations. So this is something we will need to, I think, discuss together. And well, as it so happens, Ade also has some tools to maybe help with that sharing and managing the sharing if we are using the website approach. But I think we also need to think of other ways to share the simulations, not only the website, but at least look into what are the kind of real life situations where the user stories, if you will, where you created the simulation and want to get it out there. Like what would be the kind of straightforward, intuitive way for you to do that? Is it a website, or is it something else in some other case? So I think so. This is where we are now. We are quite far. I think we are a bit too far, considering that according to the great master timetable, we have now only been working for 3 months, and there's quite a few months to go. But I think we will achieve great things with this, and yeah. And as I mentioned, Yassi will be sharing the link for the demo, I think, with everyone, so you can click around. It's the same that you see here, but it's online now. So that's where we are now, and what we've done. And when I say we, I mostly mean Karl and our Supreme programmer. Thank you.